Good evening. This is the Walpole Conservation Commission meeting of September 11th, 2024, in person. Public hearing notice, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission request for determination of applicability. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of Ambassador Pools to construct at 2 Lois Drive, Walpole, Mass., map 002, lot 39, an above-ground pool within the 100-foot buffer zone. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person, September 11th, beginning at 7 p.m. All interested persons request to be present. Okay. Let's see anything here to read in?
No, there are no comments.
No comments. So representing the applicant?
So, Chairman, at the last minute, the consultant could not appear tonight, and the pool person couldn't appear tonight. So this is a request for determination of applicability. The plan is at the last page of the RDA that's been passed out, if you want to look at it. So obviously, it's up to you, Chair of the Commission, but it's a relatively simple project. It's just a pool in a 100-foot buffer zone, 50 feet away from the wetlands, and I feel like I can describe it enough that we don't have to continue the public hearing to the 25th or later. And I'm asking if the Commission doesn't mind if I just describe it.
It's okay with me. Okay with the commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
I like it that there's a restriction on discharging the pool water. It's not into the wetlands and not into the storm drain, but where would they discharge it to?
Well, just to go from the beginning, so it's a request for determination for an above-ground pool in an existing lawn area. This house had a notice of intent filed for it, for the house and the septic to the rear. And there was boulders put along the 25-foot no alteration area or just above it. And there are no alteration plaques out on the site. So I wanted to say that first. So a request for determination means there's no impact to the wetlands for this project. It's either a negative or a positive determination, but you're allowed to generally put in some conditions that the commission feels will safeguard, and usually it's the pool water. So that was a quick condition that I wrote. It could be that no salt or chlorine water be discharged to the wetlands of the storm drain. It's usually, I think, how we customize the condition. It's a flat area. I did print this aerial. I would pass it around. It's of the house and the rear where you can see the grassed area and where the pool would go to the side of the house. Again, it's above ground pool with a deck. So it would just be on footings.
Gotcha.
Anything else you want to add? Landis?
I was just reading my notes, just to make sure there wasn't anything else I had put in my notes. Nope, that's pretty much it. So I'm recommending a -3 with conditions regarding discharge of the pool water and erosion control.
Okay. And did you say that the plaques are not there?
No, they are there.
They are there, okay. Okay. Bailey?
That's an as-built plan. What they did is they took the as-built plan and copied it and put the pool on there.
Okay. Doug?
That was my only question.
Emilio?
You did say in your description, in your report, says no alteration bounds are, bounds are placed at the 25-foot, so there are, you said?
They are.
Okay.
placed at the 25-foot
No
no
alteration.
alteration line.
No alteration bounds are placed.
Did I put another second no? Sorry.
But they were, okay.
I meant no alteration flags are placed at the no alteration bound.
Okay,
Should have been in quotes.
I know, yeah, okay, yes.
okay, that's
I'm
fine.
not always good at the
No, that's fine.
sentence
Good catch,
structure.
Emilio.
No, I just want,
It's gonna be a long evening.
I was confused.
I can understand why, Emilio. I can
I'm also,
They are there, and they're represented on the as-built
Gotcha.
plan.
Al, anything?
It looks like there's going to be no negative effect on the wetlands, so I don't have any problem.
That's it?
No comment.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Hearing none, so we'll make a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
700, or 600. Okay. So the negative 3? So someone make that a motion for -3 with conditions?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. So we have the pool water discharge, and
So no,
any excavation would be removed from the site. They have any, I don't know, they're putting
yeah,
on footings or
just
anything? That would be it. So, I need a copy of your notes,
on my note,
your report.
didn't you get a report?
No. Thank you.
Does everyone have a report?
Yeah,
Everyone has a report.
I have one to give this afternoon.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
And what do we have here?
Okay, this is Let's continue to, there's no additional comments to this.
Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission, notice of intent. In accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given the intent of Jeffrey Engler, KIG/Silverstrand, Walpole LLC, to construct at 981, 989, and 1015 East Street, Walpole, Mass., map 25, lot 164, 165, 166, a multi-use building with residential and commercial, including parking, driveway, stormwater management, and utilities within a portion of the 200-foot riverfront area of the Neponset River. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person on June 26, 2024, beginning at 7 p.m. All interested person requested to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued, and you say there's...
There's no
Someone here?
additional, there's no
Oh,
additional
no,
comments.
Oh, no, okay, no additional comments.
Yep.
So representing the applicant?
Good evening, Eric DeBrule with Bowler Engineering. I guess just by way of history, we were before you, it was late June, June 26th. At that time, we had received obviously feedback from the commission, had some very clear direction on what to make revisions and what information you were looking for. And we also had just received comments from the agent as well as DEP. So coming out of that last meeting, we took all the feedback, we prepared revised plans, and actually formally submitted a response to comments on August 1st. So that you should all have, and I'll go through the high-level points on those. And no information really has changed since we resubmitted on August 1st. One of the major changes is DEP just requested that we show the riverfront area a little bit differently. Previously, we had shown a major portion of the site being fully within the riverfront, and based on where the culvert, so the riverfront is actually made by a culverted pipe. And so just how the riverfront needed to be directed off of that is actually cut down the actual riverfront area on the property. So we just reflected that line appropriately on the plan and then revised some of the areas within the riverfront. So those were some of the DEP comments. We also provided responses to the riverfront, the redevelopment regulations. We had spoke about that and went through those live at the last meeting, but we just formalized those responses just to memorialize those, so we submitted those. One of the major feedback from the commission at the last meeting was, even though we were increasing green space within the riverfront, improving the stormwater significantly, that additional improvements were desired. So we also provided a riverfront restoration area. So it's about 392 square feet of the untouched area of the riverfront. We provided a planting plan and restoration area in that area, and that's part of the landscape plan. We've created an inset that we submitted. So that was the bulk of the revisions. Some of the other requests from the commission at the time was to just confirm that the Neponset River that bounds the site off to the west didn't also create a riverfront from the other side of the property. So we confirmed that was about 316 feet from the property. So that didn't create additional riverfront area. We provided an exhibit just to show that did not affect the site. There was a question whether there's going to be any foundation drains outletted to the resource area. So we confirmed that the foundation was going to be watertight, and they worked on a plan to sump and pump any stormwater out to the riverfront. So we just confirmed that and put that in writing as well for the commission. So I guess just keep it again high level. I'm certainly happy to answer any additional questions associated with anything we just ran through. I guess with that, I'll just turn it back to the chairman.
Okay. Landis?
I was trying to get the plan, the new landscape plan up on the screen, which is C701 landscape plan in your packet, where you can see the additional river restoration in the corner of it there. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Eric DeBrule.
Eric, okay, sorry, Eric. So Eric summarized everything really good. I agree. We had asked them to just do a little more landscaping near the riverfront area, and they did. When they plotted the riverfront area, they didn't go from the culvert, so they made an arc around the whole culvert rather than going right off the culvert, so that's how it changed. And so they addressed 10.58 to A3C, which is the riverfront area section of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, which both DEP and I asked them to do, so they did that. The stormwater management was really vetted out during the 40B process through peer review, so we didn't spend a lot of time on that. The stormwater is covered by underground infiltration systems, so it's well covered on the site. So we didn't really spend a lot of time on that because I had been previously reviewed. So I don't really have anything else that is outstanding that hasn't been addressed, either requested by the commission or the town engineer or myself. So if the commission decides to hold a public hearing and issue an order, I just have some recommended conditions.
Okay. Bailey?
No questions.
Doug?
Questions?
Emilio?
When do you, what's the timeline for this project?
I don't know exactly, but I believe it's at least 18 months out at this point, no sooner than that, is my understanding.
Okay. Is there any stabilization that you need during the construction, as far as runoff and things?
Yep, that's definitely provided in the plan set, and that was also part of the peer review through the 40B process.
Plantings will be done towards the end of the project, I suspect.
I would, yeah, I mean, we give very specific planting sequence. So that's, I don't know if it comes towards the end of the project, but I imagine that would be the case. Yeah.
We usually put in a condition that it gets started as early as possible.
Right,
Yeah,
so that's
just because we
stable.
like to have a good 2 years growing season. so.
Okay, yeah, we can pass
Gotcha.
it along.
Okay, all right, that's it.
Al?
My only concern is, now looking at this plan, standing on East Street here, to the right-hand end of the project, there's a house. And I specifically remember the backyard of that house used to flood. And you've got nice planting there, but I'm not sure what you're doing to prevent it from flooding there and causing a problem with that traffic entrance into that property. The elevation there is 139, and I see a 139 up here by the river.
Two houses
So I don't know what you're doing to prevent that corner of this property from flooding. I have no problem with the project as such, but I don't want to end up seeing that becoming a mosquito breeding area because it floods every time it has a heavy rain.
Yeah, so, again, as mentioned, the project was peer reviewed by Tetra Tech Rizzo. The stormwater system that is now going to be in place is substantially larger than it needs to be. So we're holding back the 100-year storm over and above, just because we are concerned with some of those questions or comments you brought up. So I think it's been very closely looked at by Bowler as well as the peer review agent, and we're pretty confident at this point in the project that that's not going to be an issue.
I don't like the loss of the Gilmore Supply business that used to be there, but I used to do a lot of business with them. But at any rate, that's my only concern, is that we don't end up with a big floods problem in that corner of the project.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that the site is being graded to collect the water that used to flow out into that corner and discharge it into catch basins and the underground system?
Right, so the Massachusetts stormwater standards don't allow, for adding additional runoff. So it's already, we're not even allowed to do that anyway, but we are oversizing, so we are reducing what's happening under current standards once the project is built out. So it will be an improvement over what's going to happen.
The water that just free flowed off the site is now being contained in the stormwater system.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it?
No comment.
A question on your drainage system. You're recharging you're collecting it all and recharging to groundwater or to below ground retention areas that will then infiltrate into the ground? Is that, okay? If you have a storm where that, your system can't handle the volume, where does it go?
So it will go where it currently goes today, which it currently gets piped out to the river, which is the northeast corner of the site.
This is-
Okay, so it's, so if the underground retention areas can't handle the flow, it just goes in through the existing piping system and, what'll be the new piping system, and discharge to the river.
That's correct. So anything over a 100-year storm, which is obviously a pretty major storm, that's when it would start to flow back.
Okay? Okay, anyone in the audience, questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Hearing none. Someone want to make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay. What do we have for,
So the recommended conditions prior to the issuance of the certificate of compliance to restored riverfront area, 392 square feet is shown on the plan dated 8/1/24, shall be certified as successfully completed after 2 growing seasons by a registered landscape architect. Therefore, we suggest doing it as early as possible. No further alteration of restored riverfront area except for that necessitates to maintain the approved restoration plan. And the operation and maintenance plan shall be posted on site somewhere. Is that doable? I'm going to that, I'm suggesting that more lately, just because it tends to get lost. And management groups come and go, and they don't know what it is. The party responsible for the stormwater maintenance after construction, name, address, phone number, and email address shall be provided to the Conservation Commission on an annual basis with confirmed maintenance logs, annual compliance with the stormwater operation and maintenance plan. And then we can put in riverfront restoration plannings to be made during first growing season. And if that doesn't work, then you can always let us know that you need some more time. Is there anything else?
anybody have anything else? Okay, someone make a motion to write the order as noted.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 600. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like the illustrations.
Part of this. Trade you.
This is the discussion on the South Street. Ew.
Okay, Jen Star?
Oh yeah, do we have to read that one first? How about that? This is just take a second. You just need to add, right? And add
Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission, Wetlands Bylaw, Notice of Intent, Stormwater Bylaw, and Land Disturbance Permit. In accordance with Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice by giving the intent of Genstar to construct at 32 Industrial Road, Walpole, Mass., map 46, lot 1, a multi-use office and maintenance building with vehicle service bays greater than 40,000 square feet and within the 100-foot buffer zone of an isolated vegetated wetland. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing, the above matter will be held in person, June 12th, 2024, beginning 7:15 p.m. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. You have anything to read in here?
No, so they're requesting a continuance again tonight, and I asked them to send me a specific email, and they didn't, so,
This is a
That's the
request
last.
via phone?
no, we were emailing back and forth, and they said that they wanted to continue, and so they just asked to be rescheduled, and usually I ask for a formal request to continue the public hearing, and I didn't get that, so. Anyways, they are requesting a continued public hearing.
Okay.
And I suggest putting them on the October hearing, October 9th,
Okay,
because they still have a lot of work to do. They still have to it still has to be vetted by the town engineer and myself.
okay. Do we have anything on October 9th?
No,
Okay. So someone make a motion to continue this hearing until October 9th at 7 PM.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 600, 7 PM, this is industrial.
4 pages.
Okay.
The one that you gave me isn't. 1, 2. This is the last page.
So, and then do we
Okay, so
have
October 9th at,
7 PM? That's this one, okay. We got South Street. You have this?
Yes, we have it.
yeah.
Warwick Road.
So the next thing on the agenda is a discussion on the 126 South Street, which is a project that was permitted by the Conservation Commission, both a order of conditions and a land disturbance permit. And I was out there and noticed that additional work had been done on, behind the building. And enforcement order was issued, and the commission ratified the enforcement order at the last meeting, but the applicant was unable to attend. Since then, they submitted a packet with a landscape design to do some additional plantings at the rear of the property where work had been done in the riverfront area, and the different types of planting, and you can introduce yourself from here.
Hi, my name is Bill Madden. I'm a landscape architect with Lombardi Design.
Okay.
And so, Musto reached out to me to pull together a planting plan for him. And so one of the things that we like to do, we love when we can have the opportunity to work with the Conservation Commission, because we see that it's sort of the bigger picture of what we're doing is trying to repair the ecology of a place. So for many different reasons, and I think this is the reason why you guys are here, is because this is what you feel very strongly about. So if you flip to the last page of the document, you can see the layout of the planting, and then we can talk about the specific species that have been selected. So there's an interest to create a sort of a visual buffer adjacent to the public trail. The property owner was interested to do sort of an arborvitae hedge, and so we talked to him about the idea of sort of diversifying that. So integrating cedar trees as well as deciduous trees with that edge condition to create that screening. And also, sort of to expand in that area, we've also brought in different types of native plants that are of oak trees, different shrub layer native plants as well. And then there's a larger section that's adjacent, you can see it at the 200-foot riverfront setback, that we're gonna be planting a no-mow red fescue. The hedge planting that's being proposed will be irrigated. The section where it's oaks and serviceberry, where that sort of planting expands, they will hand water that. And to just go through the species, because I would love to get some feedback on them. Al, I heard you sort of commenting about the cedars, so any sort of feedback in terms of the local ecology and sort of how the fauna sort of adapt to them, that's always really helpful for me to hear. But in terms of the canopy trees that we're proposing, lacebark elms, scarlet oaks, black tupelo, and red maples, all of these trees are going to be planted at a 2-inch caliper, which is quite substantial in terms of getting the impact on sort of day one at planting. We don't like to go too large just because it's nice for them to acclimate to the site, but also we don't like to plant very small 1-inch or 3/4-inch caliper trees because they can get toppled over by human beings or anything. So having a little bit more of a substantial structure is always great for us. The evergreens that are creating that buffer to the public trail are the cedars and the arborvitae, sort of a mix. The layout of them also integrates deciduous trees as well, so it's not just one continuous edge. And Al, this is what you were talking about. The deer get the cedars. So I want to hear what you have to say about that. And then the understory trees, we think about in terms of the flowers and sort of using these types of plantings as pollinators for the environment. And also bringing some just beauty to the public. If they're using the trail, that they have sort of seasonal beauty. So witch hazel has a very early flower, as you probably know. The serviceberry as well. And the sumac, they do great in really any kind of condition. The shrubs were also selected for, we're thinking about birds, and we are thinking about deer as much as they are sort of somewhat destructive. Like that's the reason for the oaks. The acorns are important to that wildlife component of the wildlife. Blueberries are great for birds. So we're trying to think about this as a holistic repair for the town, as well as providing the client with a vegetated edge for the walkway, for the public trail. And if you have any comments, I'd love to hear. And again, we're open to any suggestions that you feel adamant about.
Thank you. Landis?
So I don't, the only other thing I have to say is, so that this is a discussion right now based on the enforcement because if there was additional work within the roadfront area and the 100-foot buffer zone. In my understanding is, and I guess he's not here tonight, that there are other changes that he believes that he wants to make on site that have to do with the stormwater management system, so that he will have to come back and amend the order to do that.
Okay.
And at that point, if the commission agrees to this plan, it can be incorporated into the approved permit.
Okay.
I like the variety of plantings. The original plan, I think, was just the giant arborvitae, which didn't have much diversity for the area. It is public land that's being used. So I think it's important to have a variety. I think one of my suggestions was definitely we need bounds at the property line, and Anthony must have knows this. We need property bounds at his property and the town property. so that in the future, it's known that this strip
Sure.
is being maintained by the occupants of this building, but that it's town land. And my other suggestion was to see if you could open the wall at a couple places to put benches in the future, but I'm assuming that's not working for him
Correct.
financially.
Correct.
That's it.
Okay. Bailey? Doug?
Just one question, what's the wall constructed from?
I believe it's a gravity block wall. It's 2 feet tall. Landis, it's constructed currently.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's like an
existing.
Allen
existing,
block
correct,
way
yeah.
up wall.
Okay, it said new 2-foot wall,
Yeah, I believe that's new to the previous, yes, it's newly constructed.
That's what the enforcement order was. They went beyond what was permitted under the order of conditions and land disturbance permit by filling this area and building the wall.
okay. That's the only question.
Doug? Emilio? Doug's done.
I'm not Doug. So this will be part of another filing, this whole planting,
So there's two ways the commission can do it. One, they can do, we have to do friendly enforcement order, so you approve something in an enforcement order, but since he's indicated that he wants to change where it says native non-mow red fescule, originally is proposed an infiltration basin, which he has dug out, which he doesn't like, so he wants to do an underground system. So in order to do the underground system, he definitely would have to file an amended order of conditions.
so we can either approve this tonight or wait for the whole.
Yeah, I think you can approve the general idea, and then it would just be codified or formalized in the amended
Okay.
filing.
Okay.
Is what I would suggest.
All right, thank you.
That it?
That's it, yes.
Al?
My only comment, well, I've got a couple of comments. Acorns are the main food supply for wild turkeys, and I think we've been successful in getting turkeys established
And then some.
well, they were almost extinct
Yes,
in New England here, and
not in my neighborhood anymore.
they're around now, and they feed off acorns as one of their main crops. But I like the diversity and the idea of using native materials. The only one that's not native is the arborvitae, and that looks a lot like red cedar. Red cedar and arborvitae, where you've placed them, would make a nice screen if the deer leave them alone. So what I want to know is if when they are planted and watered and they start to grow, if the deer wipe them out, will they be replaced, or what we're going to do there? That's
Chairman, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Landis, can you add in your order of conditions that there's a winter burlap wrap for the evergreen trees?
Yeah.
And that will, that will help?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they can be overly aggressive and try to knock them down, but your point is well taken. And I think maybe there's another step to try to protect that, so there is a buffer, and I think the property owner would, he would accept that as well.
And my understanding, the agreement to use this strip of land was that the owner of 120, 126 would maintain this vegetation. And with the idea of it being a screening between the activity at 120 and 126 and the trail, and that
I just want to make sure that
committed to.
people understand that the possibility
Yeah.
that deer might
Absolutely.
trim them up to the height they can reach.
Anything else, Al?
No,
Betsy?
All right, I have four comments or questions. One is, well, two of these, I guess, are for the owner, but maybe they can be passed along or something. Because we had such an awful dumping problem there on town land and in the riverfront, I wanted to just sort of clarify where the boundary, and I hope it's granite blocks. I hope it's granite and not something else. Obviously, they're going at the corners, so I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Is it out of the question to put one in the middle of the, when I was talking to Landis today, she said, oh, well, that's a gravel area, maybe we don't put them, just because there was dumping on the other side. So it's a query from me, and the owner's not here, but at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4.
The boundaries.
Boundaries that say.
I can convey that to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a midpoint boundary along this.
Unless there's some issue, because.
No, I don't
because-
think there's, I
Well,
don't,
there could be, because, all right, the second thing is, I'm wondering if there could be, our no disturb plaques along this area that's riverfront. I mean, we have plaques that we put along 20-foot, 5-foot buffers, but this is a little bit different. This is a 200-foot river, and you can sort of envision 1, 2, 3 there as well, so that there's just not any thought in the future of dumping stuff there. It could even be like leaves from the landscaper, but you don't want that to happen. And the third thing is, so if this back area is going to be used by trucks and all, and I think that is what I heard, I want to make sure that the snow removal plan is really, really clear, because it's really tempting for people who are using plows to just sort of plow to the obvious spot. And I can just see them plowing into that area. So somehow the snow removal plan has got to be clear about that. And maybe it was on the original plan, Landis, I don't know, was it? I just, now that we've got this situation, I just don't want to have snow piled against all this.
I think we could, in the amended stormwater plan, we could do like a dash in a line that shows snow storage of where
Yeah.
it's planned to be
Yeah.
located.
Yeah, okay.
I think snow storage was probably addressed in the original plan.
But my
so-
problem is, this is not the original plan anymore.
No, I know, I'm
Yeah.
just answering your question.
Yeah.
I thought you had asked me if it had been addressed. So,
Yeah,
but I think that it should be
Yeah.
addressed differently
yeah.
with the amended plan.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now that this is a new thing.
Yeah.
And then the fourth thing is, so, again, this is probably for the owner, but maybe it could be passed along. So is there actually a written agreement with the town about two things? One, that it's okay to use this area, because I think it's gonna be like a little turnaround for trucks or something. In other words, there's a reason that the plantings only go to here and they don't go quite all the way into the town land along this back strip. So there's a written agreement about that, that says, okay, it's okay to turn around trucks and stuff. And is there a written agreement with the town that says that the owner's gonna maintain this? Because I'm thinking like 20 years from now, when we're long gone, will there be some understanding that that's what's going on?
I don't know that, but I do know from what the background that was given to me was that there was significant investment from this property owner to remove all of the rubbish and everything that was there.
Yeah.
So I think that step taken was him trying to sort of give back to the town. So I don't think that he's going to return it back to a rubbish pile, but with that said, that's intentions. I don't know if there's anything documented about that.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing something in writing, because sometimes like 10 years from now, we'll be fishing through the files looking for something or other that we thought was said, and there'll be nothing in writing, and that will be that. So anyway, those are my comments. But I like the diversity of the plantings, and I like the choices.
With the amended order, we certainly could put in the amended order that the vegetation
Yeah,
is to be maintained.
yeah.
All right, John.
Okay, that was what I didn't, you have that addressed in your comments? Okay. Yeah, I guess my question is to make sure that, basically what we're doing tonight is gonna, is agree or disagree with the plan submitted. Is there anything that then requires the applicant to file with he wants, the message is that he wants to revise the drainage system? But is there anything that would require him to do that? So that this gets incorporated, we're gonna incorporate this into a revised, an amendment to the order of conditions. And that are the intent at this point?
Right, again, you can either believe that he's gonna do that, or you could follow through with the enforcement order that these plantings are to be taking place.
Okay, so if we include that, so the enforcement order would stay in effect until we get a revised, an amendment to the order? Is that one way to do it?
Amendment to the order, or the plantings are done on its own, or you could request an amendment for the plantings.
Okay.
I mean, the commission has done it multiple ways. Sometimes enforcement orders are written that you have to file a notice of intent to complete the requirements of the enforcement order. Sometimes we do more friendly enforcement order. If the applicant or the owner is working with us, then we tell them what they should do, and then you don't vacate the enforcement order until it's complete.
Okay.
So either way, or I suppose you could do both. You could keep the enforcement order valid until the plantings are completed, either under an amendment or on its own,
Okay.
and give them a
Yeah,
deadline.
I think that should be part of it, is that we keep this open until we have the new filing for the
For the
revisions.
stormwater.
Yeah. Was that?
You're gonna keep it open until you get the filing for the stormwater, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so we have some means of enforcement. Okay. And did you request that we put in plaques on the
Yeah.
riverfront area?
I did, yeah.
Okay, okay. You know what we're talking about with the plaques?
No.
Okay,
I can send a copy of, we have a template of no alteration plaques with,
Okay,
on bounds,
okay,
so.
great.
So it sounds like no alteration plaques at the 200-foot riverfront area,
yeah,
Yeah.
one in the middle and one on each end.
and then the bounds at either end of the
Bounds
property
on the
line.
property line.
And even if he allows it in the middle,
In the
sorry to
middle,
be
that
that kind of, I mean, it's like, and up here as well, because I think this neighbor used to have a little problem with not understanding, them not
Well, there'll be
understanding.
the no alteration plaque up there.
Okay,
And
but am I right, there used to be some issue about whether or not they understood where the boundary was, so, I don't know.
so you want a no alteration plaque and a bound?
Maybe,
boundary bound? I just want to be clear
maybe,
what we're
yeah,
talking about.
maybe.
No alteration plaque and the boundaries for the property
Yeah,
line?
because I seem to remember there was some rubbish falling into the
Yeah, yeah.
neighbors as well. If I were that neighbor, I would want to see this done that way.
Okay,
And then snow storage.
Yeah. And Landis, I mean, is there going to be something written with the town? I mean,
I
actually,
can't answer that question.
Okay,
because
but could-
that
if the
is not in my purview.
if the
of
owner comes before us, I'm
conservation
going
agent.
to ask. I'm going to ask, no.
What?
I don't think it exists as a written, but it's an understanding, and what we're getting is an improvement, definite improvement from what it was before. So, I think that with our, in our order, we are establishing the property line, and the owner's requirement to maintain that area. All right, at this point,
What
we
I can
wanna-
do, Jack, is put together a letter with the items that we talked about that are, will
Okay.
be included in the enforcement order, and the enforcement order won't be vacated until they're satisfied.
do we need a motion for you to write a letter regarding this?
I don't think so. I mean, I think if everyone's kind of in agreement with the landscape plan, that it would be good to let the landscaper know that.
Okay, so we don't need a motion.
I think, why don't you just take a vote as far as the landscape?
Okay, someone want to make a motion to
Go for it.
accept the landscaping plan as presented with the notations that we have discussed?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll summarize this and I can send.
Thank you.
This must go.
Warwick Road, okay. Only 7:15, wow. We're moving right along.
Yeah. Pretty good.
There's a new letter from Carl.
Okay. Public hearing notice, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission, notice of intent. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice hereby given the intent of Wall Street Development to construct an extension of Warwick Road, including an 8-by-4-foot culvert stream crossing within the town's right-of-way with the associated water and sewer utility line infrastructure, and stormwater drainage basins and roadway located on portions of 315 and 319 Summer Street, Walpole, Mass., map 56, lot 89 and 90. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing in the above matter
That's
will be
okay, I got a
held
little one here.
in person on May 22nd, 2024, beginning at 7:20 PM. All interested persons requested to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. We have a letter from town engineer. It's dated September 11th. And it's received the letter from Conservation Commission dated August 27th. To the Conservation Commission from Robert Truex. Three-page letter from Walpole, to the Walpole Conservation Commission dated July 9th, 2024, from Robert Truex. 12-sheet set of plans entitled Definitive Subdivision Plan, Warwick Road Extension, etc. And a revised multi-page report titled Stormwater Management Report, Definitive Subdivision Plan, Warwick Road Extension. In response is a review, the following is a review of responses provided July 9, 2024 letter GLM. So number one, the engineer replied, no comment, planning board issue not related to Concom review. These numbers are related to the July 9th GLM letter. Number two, the engineer replied, see Select Board decision dated December 27, 2023. Select Board decision appears to allow for the unconstructed portion of Warwick Road to proceed once certain conditions are met, which include Concom approval. This is number 5. The engineer has replied to the applicant, is in touch with Mr. Kelly. As of this date, this office is not aware of any agreement with Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly is who?
Up in Warwick Rd.
One of the neighbors.
The butter?
Yeah.
He's a butter. He's-
Okay, all right, and Mr. Kelly's in a butter on Warwick Road. The engineer has replied that the applicant has provided a legal opinion to the planning board. This appears to be a planning board issue. So plan review, engineer replied, additional information has been provided on the culvert detail and note provided. Previously requested information needs to be provided. Engineer responded that the guardrail is shown on the plan view. The guardrail needs to be shown on plan view on sheet 7 detail. Engineer responded, final installation, I guess that's, it should be installation, specifications to be provided prior to DPW engineering review and approval prior to installation. Engineering to provide what type of insulation has been used in town. Add to a note to detail next to the water line indicating insulation may be cellular glass pipe insulation, fiberglass insulation, or expanded polystyrene or urethane insulation, all for use on water pipes as approved by DPW water/engineering per Mass DOT standard. The engineer responded, revised C sheet 9. The cul-de-sac, station 2 plus 32.62 to the cul-de-sac has been added to a label for the curb intended to be added below typical cross-section detail. Stormwater report. The engineer responded, revised calculation provided, see appendix A3, revised stormwater report. There is an error message in appendix A3 on page 2 of the stream stat output indicating that parameters are out of range and estimates are extrapolated with unknown errors. If this is the case, the modeled flow for the culvert may not be accurate. This should be addressed or another calculation method utilized. This is comments from 8/25/23. Engineer responded, the applicant to provide information if available. If an agreement is made with the abutter at 7 Wall Street, show temporary and permanent easement for grading on the plan. And this is on the grading and drainage utilities. Proposed street light is shown in the cul-de-sac. The street light doesn't affect us. Please plan, engineer. Limit of construction, so limit of mill and overlay tied to the existing, provide detail for reconstruction, removal, and replacement of base material unless deemed suitable by DPW engineering, paving, curb, and other details for typical cross-section. This is about curbing that doesn't affect us.
These are all plan details.
This is from comments from the conservation agent on August 27th, letter by GLM Engineering. There are no mounding calculations in the July 9th stormwater report to prove the 1.2-foot mound claimed in the response. Mounding should be included. I continue to advocate for work sessions prior to resubmission to minimize number and length of reviews. This is September 11th letter. Have you seen this? Do you have a copy?
Yeah, we got it.
Received it tonight.
Yeah, we got
You
it at
have
5
got it.
o'clock.
Okay, so you have it. Okay. Representing the applicant,
Good evening, Lou Petrosi for Wall Street Development Corp. We appreciate the town engineer giving us comments a month and a half after he's received the plans.
It's not necessary, just proceed, please.
Yes, dear. So, most of the comments, as you probably read, are mostly related to plan details, not necessarily, they don't affect the construction or the work that's proposed, so I think we've done everything that has been asked of us from the Conservation Commission, so we're looking to close the hearing.
That's your only comment?
That's my only comment, yeah.
Okay. Landis?
So based on my review and comments from the past meeting, July 9th, the wetlands flags were updated correctly, and that was resolved. Then the wetlands flags that weren't approved, that was resolved. The updated letter of the agreement of the owners of the two parcels that front Summer Street, the applicant feels that the letters from 2021 are sufficient. I'm gonna skip 4, because I can address that in a minute. Then the assessed wetlands along 7 and 10 Warwick Road, that was taken care of. The obtaining permission from 7 Warwick Road, we received a letter from that owner that he has not approved work on his property, but that can be addressed in a condition. The detail of the crossing and the culvert, arrows didn't go anywhere, that was resolved. The naturalized stream bed, there is a note in the plan, but further detail on that can be conditioned. Wetlands fill was part of the altered wetlands was resolved and taken away, and so now the replication is 340 square feet, which is 1 to 1.5, so that was resolved. Wetlands replication, we did receive a more detailed plan on the wetlands replication, so that was resolved. All areas of altered were labeled, and they did put in the retaining wall of the cul-de-sac, which reduced the wetlands fill, so that was resolved. There are no alteration plaques, it was sort of left up in the air, but that can be determined for the individual lots. The basin shall be designed to manage under the regulations design that for volume, that was resolved, except the mounding, but Mr. Truax did send me something late this afternoon, I think after 5 o'clock.
I just got an email. We went to the late emails lately.
And then address the town engineer's comments was also in there.
There was one other thing, Landis, the buffer zone plantings
We added those.
Buffer zone.
Restoration
around the detention
around the
basin.
Right.
detention basin.
Okay, yep, where's that, just for the waiver? You include those.
Yeah, they're on supplemental sheet A.
Address stormwater management during construction, I know that was kind of a late game thing that can be conditioned, because but I had mentioned at the last hearing that I was concerned with the water that would be flowing down from Summer Street. I just don't want it to be flowing down from Summer Street and crossing the site, altered site. So
Yeah, I don't think it's going to, but, I mean, that could be monitored.
We can burn that up.
Yeah.
there should be plans to collect construction, stormwater.
Oh, absolutely, we'll do that.
We've learned that on other sites, that
Absolutely.
it needs to be part of the plan, so that can be submitted. So the issue with, the property that you are showing grading on the property of 7 Warwick Lane, and he has not given permission, and then there's kind of a note that we don't get permission, we're gonna build a wall, but
Right, well, we have the option, I mean,
I think the commission generally doesn't approve plans with with options. They approve plans.
Well, then,
So if you want the plan approved that you're showing, then I don't think the commission can approve
make
work
it-
on someone else's property. So
Well-
that's how it would sit.
I guess you have the option of making that a condition too, that we get,
What I'm saying.
Yeah,
That it would be, there would be the suggested condition,
yeah, we'll be happy to accept the condition that we either get an agreement with the homeowner to do grading on his property, or we'll come back in with a modification, a minor modification, put a wall there.
so if the commission, if you decide to close the hearing tonight and issue an order, the recommended condition with this order of condition only approves work on property under ownership of the applicant or for which the applicant has obtained a legal authorization from the record owner. Meaning any other work is not approved under the order. And then as far as my conversation with the town engineer and in his letter tonight, that this is not a plan that a street opening permit would be issued on. And that's tied up with this whole appeal process. So the recommended condition would be future revisions to the plan dated 8/27/2024, required by other boards or departments, shall be submitted to the Conservation Commission with a summary letter of the revisions for review and may require an amended order of conditions or separate notice of intent. So you're approving the plan he submits tonight, and if there's revisions, then he has to come back, like any applicant would have to come back and show, have the commission approve the revision. And the other special conditions that I have to do with the replication area, leaving the requirements of the replication area as stated in the replication plan by Goddard, dated 10/18/2024, and with the modification of the replication at 340 and the disturbance at 210 is the responsibility of the applicant, just because some of the alterations occurring within the right-of-way, but the replication is occurring on the subdivision.
Before you proceed, is that date 24,
Is what they,
this, 24
no,
or 20?
because the Goddard, the Goddard report was from a while ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
You should also reference the plan. I can
Okay.
reference the plan.
You
'cause
said
that has to
20
be updated.
you said 2024, so it actually is 2022.
Yes, it's 20.
Okay,
Oh, did I
okay.
say 2024?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll reference the plan too,
Yeah.
because that's the more up-to-date.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Sorry. The replication area excavation and planting shall occur within the planting season, April to October of the culvert crossing, meaning we want it done at the same time, not 2 or 3 years later. The replication area shall not be considered final for 2 years and approved by the commission based on the submission of a final report certified by a botanist or wetland specialist. A culvert and stream, bed, bank, as-built shall be submitted to the commission for approval after installation and opening for flow. If the stream bed is not reconstructed according to the stream crossing regulations, this shall be corrected immediately prior to any other work. So the stream is supposed to be reconstructed underneath the culvert. And so that should be verified prior to anything else. Botanists and wetland specialists certified report shall consist of photographs, plant counts and types, soil conditions, and confirmation of hydraulic connection. House lots shall be filed under separate notice of intent and land disturbance permit. And then contact name, address, email, phone number of post certificate of compliance responsible party for maintenance of stormwater basin shall be provided to the commission with the request for certificate of compliance. So if the commission decides to close the hearing, issue a order of conditions, those are my recommended conditions.
Okay. Bailey, comments?
None at this time.
Okay. Doug?
No comments.
Emilio?
So,
Al?
All set.
Betsy?
No comment.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Hearing none? We will move along. Is there anything additional that the applicant wants to comment at this point? Okay,
So just as long as, you understand if there's changes to the plan, you have to come back,
Yeah, just like any other project.
like any other.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or better.
And I don't want to stay away too long because you might forget me.
okay. Someone make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
600. So, we have gone through the proposed special conditions, plus our normal conditions. Anything else that anybody wants added? Okay, so we'll make a motion to issue the order of conditions based on our discussion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600.
Great,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Night. Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission Land Disturbance Permit in accordance with Walpole Stormwater Management Bylaw, General Bylaw, is hereby given in the intent of Jiton Hotel Management at 2375 Boston Providence Highway, Walpole, Mass. Map 57, Lot 30, to construct a new four-story hotel with associated utilities of 12,742 square feet, altering over 40,000 square feet of land requiring a land disturbance permit. The application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person on August 14th, 2024, beginning 7:40 PM. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. We have a email dated September 11th from Holmgren Engineering. Please accept this as a request to continue our public hearing until Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. So, the date sound all right? This is,
That's the last page of my report, that
Oh.
it has what we already have scheduled on the
Oh.
25th, the bottom there, so, 7, again, we're scheduling really tight because of all these continuances.
okay.
The
So,
next slot we think would be 7:20.
7:20, okay. So someone make a motion to continue this hearing till September, what is it?
25th.
25th.
25th at 7:20 PM.
So moved.
Second.
So this is, what is this?
This is the 2375 Providence, Boston Providence Highway, Jitan Hotel. This is yours.
It's 7:20, oh, this is mine?
Yep, this
Oh.
is 32 industrial.
Okay. Yeah, you can have that back. So,
All in favor?
do we make that a motion?
So moved.
Yeah, second, I think we did.
We did?
I don't know.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 600. Okay. there. Did we have, do we have minutes or not? Okay.
Well, there was a couple of questions that she wanted to run by me before
Yeah,
giving them to
okay.
you. She's unforgotten. She's been doing very good.
Okay, yes. I know you did a pile of minutes from the last meeting, so probably enough for a month.
Amazingly, she got through an enormous amount
Yeah.
of minutes.
The enforcement order, we've covered. Certificate of compliance. Okay, someone, are they ready? This
Yes.
Lot 5 Lincoln Road?
Yes, Lot 5, Lincoln Road, that was one of the lots that were subdivided from the home for the little wanderers. And I went out there and did an inspection, there's an as-built and everything's complete.
Okay, so someone want to make a motion to issue the certificate of compliance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 600. We have something to sign?
And we'll put in any continuing conditions that are in the order.
And 63 Millbrook.
63 Millbrook is also complete. That's an older one that was part of the High Oak subdivision prior to Toll Brothers. And that's also complete. The as-built, and Dan American, who did the as-built, did reference, there is a patio that wasn't on the original plan, but the patio is within the lawn area, so there's really no additional impact to the wetlands areas, and the bounds that were required are out there, and it's upgrade of the bounds.
Those all ready? Okay, so we'll make that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay. Sign. It's done. I guess there's nothing new on the historic mill complex?
There's nothing new on the historic mill complex.
Okay. Board comments?
So as far as
Well, we did that, right?
Yeah, as far as board comments, these are projects that have gone through Concom already and are now going through planning board, so the 130 West Street, so I just would provide, I already did provide the planning board with a letter that a land disturbance was issued by the Conservation Commission and the date it was issued for 130 West Street and the car barn at 2018 Providence Highway and Union Village Brook Ave. All those three projects have already gone through the commission, so the letter just states that permits were issued, but if there's changes in the plan, that the applicant should provide us with a summary of the changes in case they require an amendment. And then the Jatan Hotel is currently before us.
Okay. Anybody have anything else that covers that? I noticed there's, seems to be a lot of cars parking now that the high school's open down at Clark's Pond. Do you ever bring that up with?
No, did you? No, I will. I know usually, I thought in the past that was happening more in the spring,
Right.
but now it seems to be happening
No.
earlier.
Yeah.
They just discovered it in the spring, and now it's a thing.
Well, I always thought it was the juniors who newly got their
Yeah,
license, didn't have permits to park, so that was their go-to spot, but.
What did we do before when we brought this up? We just let it go because it was the end of the year? school
In
year?
the past, I've talked to the school department, I've talked to the school department, and then they talk to whoever, and then they magically disappear.
Okay. We had talked if they needed additional parking spaces, we might rent them out at a similar price to what the high school does.
Right.
Is that, you might just mention that
Okay.
if that's,
I will do that, for sure.
as a viable, then it would be a limited number.
Right, I would think
Then you'd
that,
have to kind of enforce it or something.
Well, give a sticker, with that. I don't know how they enforce it at the high school. Must get a sticker.
You could stand there in the morning and check cars in.
if we could at least just get them to park along the tree line and leave the pond side
Well,
open.
that's my thought, is that we could use that side. There's enough. But it's, if they take up the whole thing, it's not.
They're currently taking up the whole thing?
It's not, most of it seems to be on the tree side, what I've seen, but then you got other cars there. I think we need to,
Yeah.
we need to limit it,
Yeah.
whatever we do.
Right.
Either eliminate it or limit it.
Okay.
It's not, it is a public space, and it's, there are, I think it's a 2-hour limit is the parking
It is,
sign that's
yes.
there. So, you'll check on that in your spare time.
And then we still had on the agenda the North Street Conservation Areas.
Oh,
sign.
okay. The signage, I guess we talked about what signs we're gonna put there. I don't think we're anywhere as near the point where we need to be deciding exactly what signs. We need signs that are pertinent to conservation. We need signs that agree with the Ponset River landholding or NEPRA, and the homeowners association. So, I don't know if we want to get into anything at this point. We're not. The last time I talked to Rick Batson, that it was on the agenda to do some work on that, probably this winter, late fall, winter, to do something. We've done some trail marking. The boardwalk over the stream has not been done yet. The trash has been removed.
Who's doing, is it the DPW that's gonna do the gentler slope down into the property?
They'll bring some material in, some fill, yes.
The DPW?
Yeah, DPW is going to
Okay.
do that and widen the area on North Street as it goes into the intersection with Fisher.
And is there any plan to mark the intersection in any way, like, like that white crosswalk thing they put
That's
down?
part of what, there'll have to be something for pedestrian crossing.
I wouldn't mind one of those poles that you press a button on.
That's one thing I think that would probably be subject for discussion. I think something needs to be done there, whether that's the best way. But that, yeah, there's definitely something needs to be done there. I have talked to the engineering department, and they are probably this week going to put a couple of stakes out that show the right-of-way, the limit of the right-of-way of North Street, which would be on the west side of North Street, so that we know where the right-of-way is, so we can put a path down from Adams Farm. So,
But I meant a path down into the
right,
actual, yeah.
right, no,
as
that's,
well, yeah.
no, we need to get from the street down to the
Yeah.
ground level.
Yeah.
But we didn't, we'll work on that trail last weekend, down to the pond, right, down to the public access. So, unless somebody has something else at this point, I think we can probably just keep this on the agenda for the point where it, I think, gets to the point where it's worthwhile deciding what we know. should have there. That's all right with everybody?
Yeah, Jack, you mentioned signage for no littering. Is there a fine that will be on that sign to get people's attention?
I don't know who the
Is there,
the
is,
littering would be on town property, and I don't know what the fine is on that portion of this whole project that's on town property.
so is there a fine, so if you go to the other South Street entrance of the Walpole Town Forest, is there a fine on that sign? I know it says absolutely no littering, but I can't remember if there's a fine
I
on it.
don't know. I can't
I
think
mean,
of it.
I
Aren't
don't,
there fines at Adams Farm for
Are
littering? I think I saw
Not for
that.
littering,
No?
no,
Oh.
just for dogs off leash.
oh, that.
Dog litter.
What was that?
Dog litter?
Well, that's part
Is
of
that
it.
what you
That's part of,
Gentle.
that's part of it.
So
I mean, that is a violation,
Yes,
and it is
yeah.
noted.
Yeah.
There's a list of the fines for violating the leash law, which includes picking up.
Yeah. That would be good to have.
So there's two different signs. One is our conservation sign that's like, no littering, no dogs off the leash, no fires, no camping, no this, no that. And then there's the Willett Pond sign, which is no skating, no swimming, no motorboats, blah, 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 right? So that it's really two different.
Oh, yeah. then
Signs.
We have,
Theirs is pretty standard. I mean, they got their whole list
yeah,
of
they
what
have
they
a
want
large list of
to not happen at the
no's
pond, yeah.
that
Yeah.
would have to be included in the signage we would do, as well as where signs go.
Right,
So,
right.
okay. Okay, is that, anybody have anything else?
Went to Jarvis Farm a few weeks ago, and we tried to get to the boardwalk. It's totally flooded.
Where is
there a
this?
beaver now again?
I don't know, so, I don't know.
Where are you?
Went to Jarvis Farm and tried to get to
Jarvis
the.
Farm, yeah, that,
It's been a beaver for a while. I thought
It
they
was-
had dealt with it.
Mosquito infested, flooded, there was just no way.
So a beaver control structure is part of the plan for the Washington Street Culvert Project.
So they haven't done anything yet, because we noticed the same thing. We tried to go out there and we couldn't.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, the beavers are still happily at work, right?
I'm assuming if the boardwalk is flooded.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
and
really
I noticed that when you're driving south on Washington Street on the left side, it's still high. It's been high for quite a while, and it didn't used to be like that. It used to go
I
down.
don't know if it's anything to do with the construction.
No, it's been like that.
I know,
No,
it's been- yeah,
it's been
that
like
way.
that. Oh, God,
But
yeah,
it-
yeah, yeah.
It looks like it's maybe gotten, the water level's gotten higher.
Maybe,
I don't know what,
yeah.
you know, they're,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, it could, yeah.
It could what?
I think, I don't know. It could be something going on with the construction.
Construction of,
They're replacing the
They're
culvert.
replacing the culvert, so
Yeah, yeah.
they're have suspended utilities and
Okay.
stuff like that, and I think something might have dropped in the water
So the beaver,
that's obstructing flow a little bit.
the beaver control can't happen until that happens, is that the deal?
I would think the beaver control would be done after the culvert is replaced.
Oh,
It's part of it, so with beaver control, so out at the right of way on National Grid, they put what they call the decoy dam
Yeah,
further out from the culvert, which the beavers build on that rather than building right in front of the culvert. And then when it overflows, so it doesn't dam the culvert.
yeah, I know. I've seen it in action at Stony Brook and Audubon Society, and it doesn't work, but yeah, right.
So, and then they have other structures that they were gonna put at the Washington Street culvert. I mean, the information that I've received is, it's a really hard thing to deal with. The other thing is you trap them
Yeah.
and you euthanize them. However,
Yeah.
that does not necessarily stop the beaver problem, because it's kind of like, once you have beavers, you have beavers. So then the next pair says, oh, this is a lovely spot to build a dam, and they move in. So removing an existing pair is not necessarily going to fix the problem.
Unless you continue to remove
Yeah, you
it.
continue to
Constantly
remove them.
continue to
Yeah.
remove. When the removing
There you go.
in the euthanized, they
Leave it
don't,
to Beaver.
is a last resort. They don't. It's
Back-
not as,
Back to the old days
Yeah,
of trapping.
and apparently they really moved into eastern,
Yeah.
southeastern Massachusetts
Hmm.
more than.
Yeah, it's not the only ones around.
no, so are we moving to adjourn, or what?
Does anybody have anything else? Okay. So we'll make a motion to adjourn. It is, are you ready? Okay.
Ellie, you want to move to adjourn? I'll say so moved.
So,
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.